We are recording.
So, in lieu of Dear Cherry not being able to make it to the most recent session that will be recorded today, we're doing something a little different. Tsubasa,
Yes.
in the middle of going to check up on Helia, for she had been gone a little bit longer than you were comfortable with after being transported to apparently a dummy ship that had been handed over in your care. You were texted, or rather, sent an email by your mother over the gummy phone. And you know it's your mother because it was titled Family Meeting. And the only person who would send an email of that importance, titled like that, is the matriarch, not your mom. In the first line, you know it's because of you, as the first line is, due to some unforeseen circumstances, we need to have a talk about relationships.
Oh no. Oh.
The rest of the statements that are as follows are like, we need to talk about how people interact with each other, how we interact with ourselves and amongst family. Basically, a code of conduct that boils down to Tsubasa, get your ass over here.
You are in trouble.
Yeah. And you had told, what do you actually tell the rest of the group that is in your care? Because Lance and Raz had come back from what they were doing.
No, he would mostly be just. So something came up, and Okasama is telling me that I need to go home for a little bit. It's fine though. It's just she needs to talk to me about something.
And whether they have a positive or negative response to you dipping during a kind of important moment is irrelevant. As you not only go to the teleport line on the far side of the campus through one of the, waystones essentially. You aren't walking the entire campus line just to get to the teleport line, you're just teleporting there. And as a result, the person at the teleport line goes, "Oh, Tsubasa, yeah?
Uh, yeah.
Here, this is an instant line." Which means your mother called ahead.
I want you to know I can't show it for the roll 20, but I am going to send you basically the exact expression that Tsubasa has, and you've seen me use the emote before. It's that one. Just the oh.
Oh, good. Yeah, just the, oh no, shit.
It's just like thank you. And he'll shuffle to the instant line just with the oh I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up.
And as you teleport over to your home, where you've lived and where you've grown up with your family and your sisters, and you kind of realize that it's closed to the public today. Only family and close relatives can come in, which means either something really bad happened that has to do with you, or it's because of you that it's closed. As this area only closes due to the amount of tourist action that it has in extreme circumstances, which probably doesn't help your lingering anxiety even with medication.
It definitely is not.
And as you head over to the main homestead, you hear the distant chatter with your good perception of your sisters at first as you walk up the main staircase, talking in the kitchen, getting things ready, talking about dinner, watching you walk past the doorway, not saying anything, but Tsukiyomi just gives you a nod of calm down, because he can see it on your face.
And
Where you have the massive perception bonus, she has the massive insight bonus.
Yeah, no, he does give a nod back of understanding before he does admittedly stop in front of the doors for a moment, takes a deep breath, and then steps inside.
They pause their conversation in a language you don't actually know off the top of your head, which doesn't help your anxiety at all. But they do smile over at you in that awkward manner of, we know you're nervous. Your father is always nervous. He is a very nervous man. He is constantly wringing his hands, messing with his rings, readjusting his clothes. Always something wrong with his outfit that he claims that he has to fix. And your mother is the opposite, confident and brazen and brash and bold. All the things that most people think women should not be, at least in current day and age. In this game, it's kind of normal. So it's one of those things of seeing both of them match their own nervousness is a odd situation. So something must have happened outside of you, which is something that you can pick up on as you sit down in front of them both. Hey, kiddo, as your mother speaks up.
Hey, Yoga-sama, did... Sorry.
I'm sure you understand why you're here. And she kind of smiles.
Well, I mean, the message was pretty clear, especially since it was a formal one.
And your father speaks up. I told her not to do that way. We already closed the house to the public, so it's not like anybody's gonna walk in aside from maybe Takeru.
So, did something happen? Or just...
They look between each other for a moment, sharing a glance that you've never been able to read but understand as basically who speaks first. And Akira actually speaks up first, looking back at you. Your mother and I have realized that you might be in a relationship that you're hiding from us, and we're a little concerned that he might be, or she.
No, I didn't mean to hide it intentionally. It's just a lot has been happening, and I guess I've...
And your mother interrupts you and goes, "Too much for your old man and old woman to know about?" It can't be that much. You're a student. What could you possibly be doing not to alert us to being in a relationship?
A lot?
As a reminder, you've never told them what's actually going on.
And Tsubasa does... He fusses for a bit, almost in a similar way to Akira, just twisting at his fingers and fidgeting for a moment before he takes a deep breath, trying to calm himself and gather himself. It's just... Well, there was an attack on the academy at one point.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to come over there. Otherwise, I think they would have actually never been escaped. All of them, all the culprits, because there's rumors, multiple. And your mother is grinning in that sense of they wouldn't have been able to contain me, let alone what I would have done.
I mean, it's definitely more than just that, but the attack on the academy was one of the bigger things that, not everyone survived it.
She frowns, and Akira kind of twists at one of the rings on his fingers.
But me and my friends, we were all right, even though we sort of fought against the main guy who was. Well, he said he wasn't attacking the device, but he said he was making it worse, if I remember right. The world protection thing for the academy, I mean.
So the sigils on the actual protection shield were wearing off? Is that what you're telling me? Your
Yeah,
mother is speaking at this point.
yeah. Kind of. It looked like the Dark Realm itself was actually, um, and Tsubasa pauses for a moment as he tries to remember the actual name he had been told about the thing before he just gives up, and because the most he can remember is the translation, but he also knows that it's not accurate, so he ends up calling the time dial what Astor's mirror form had called it in Celestial.
Do you remember what it was?
You never told me the actual Celestial words. I just remember that it translated loosely to time dial.
Correct. Do you repeat what was said in Celestial?
Yes.
She quirks her head to the side a little bit and looks over at Akira with that look of, I didn't catch any of that. However, your father looks startled. And he's always been an open book when it comes to his family. He's never had reason to hide his facial expressions the way he does in practical matters. But his startlement looks, how should I put it? Guarded. As if he is, in fact, in a political or practical matter that he can't show his entire hand about. Which is a little odd for you.
But, I mean. I can't even just explain that. I have to explain the full thing. Um. I know what I'm about to say is probably going to sound absolutely weird, but during my second year, I think it was near the end. Was it near the end? Out of character?
I think it was near the end, yeah.
Yeah. Just near the end of my second year, around the same time that I started dating, actually, me and my classmates found out that we're apparently in a time loop.
You can feel the weight of your admittance, at the very least. Because they don't say anything. They're letting you talk.
We found out about a time loop and about the other people who are aware of it at the very least, and ones who can remember the previous time loops, but they can't actually share any information unless we've already encountered it because uh mm. And he stopped for a moment trying to again gather himself. Just it's the main reason why I forgot to tell you guys about my boyfriend. Cause
Oh, so it is a guy, your mother says. And then, like, reaches over, smacks Akira on the shoulder, and goes, You owe me 20 money. Continue.
Why do you guys always bet on that sort of thing with me?
You're a hard nut to crack. What?
Uh, Anyways, but yeah, no, because you guys remember the stuff that happened during my first year, yeah? With, um, and he does pause, trying to remember if they had ever been told that he had his Keyblade now.
They knew of it, but they found out secondhand and didn't seem bothered by that. If anything, Dominique seemed proud.
Yeah. But he does pause to remember that before just like, you remember how I summoned my Keyblade during my first year, yeah?
Yeah, kiddo, I was worried that you weren't gonna tell me, but your sisters kind of dialed me in.
I know. They tend to do that. But things started getting really weird after that had happened. And it was small things at first, like find it like when we had to leave the academy for a little while because of the old vice grand headmaster.
Hmm.
We actually spent some time at the magic tower with Lex's older brother. And when we did, that's when I found out that something was not right with the timeline. Or something like that, because we found books that both mentioned king and queen, but
Who?
um, the black king and the white queen.
They look at each other with a look of confusion.
You don't you know who they are? Especially White Queen? Um, what is the White Queen's real name again?
Brianna DeVore.
Yeah. Uh, Miss Rihanna DeVore. She's the White Queen. And I don't know what the Black King's name is. We've only ever heard him called King.
Actually, you do know his name. Remember from
Oh, right. Yeah. What was his name again?
Amadeus.
Yeah. And the Black King's name is, it's Amadeus.
Could you repeat that? I didn't hear that last one. She kind of like reaches up to her ear and like kind of does that thing of like, I got water in it, gotta get it out, and then leans in.
It was Amadeus.
They just look at each other in that odd way of like, are we hearing the same thing?
Yeah, and they will see Tsubasa just sort of like reach towards his mouth, just like, wait, hold on. Are you not able to hear it?
Hear what, kiddo? You didn't say anything.
The name, like, when I say Amadeus, my does my mouth at least look like it's still moving?
Yeah, but you're not saying anything.
It's the time loop again.
I don't know if that would affect anything.
No,
And
no,
your father looks contemplative.
no. It's happened to me just on the other side before. When we went to the dollhouse and Dr. Zarin and the others were talking about thing
Aaron.
Dr. Saren's Gainsborough.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. I thought that man was dead. Or woman? Do we know? And looks over at Akira, who's still thinking and listening, not really responding.
Well, it does, cause when they mentioned things that had happened before to them in different time loops, the rest of us weren't able to hear it. It would look like their mouth was saying something, but nothing was coming out.
That does make a little bit of sense. As your father speaks up finally. I've been avoiding telling anybody but the Mages Council, but... And his brows furrowed, kind of knit into that familiar expression of when he's thought too much and actually come out to a proper conclusion he does not like. And just... You understand my school of study, correct?
Yeah, you're a divination wizard, aren't you?
Yes. And you know that I use that pretty daily. Even for small things, to make sure I never go slack on my studies.
Yeah.
My divination has stopped working in the past year. And your mother goes wide-eyed. Is that why you keep messing up? 'Cause you're faking it? Yes, dear, I didn't want to worry you.
In the past year, like... Uh, when exactly did it stop?
He looks at you with that kind of familiar, miserable, wet cat look. And goes, around the time the academy was attacked.
When the
I
time
think it had something to do with it. Perhaps. And that's not what it's called. Do you know who, or I guess perhaps what, called it that?
Well...
It's not relevant. I want to know for my own studies. Because it's a name I haven't heard of before, but it explains quite a bit.
I mean, it was technically Aster's, mirror form, I guess you could say. It was a light being.
I don't know what that is. You kids are running afoul things that I don't understand for once, and that's hard for you to do, being a divination wizard.
I guess we're talented like that?
Or worrying.
Yeah, as he said that, there was that sort of shaky smile that fell as soon as Akiro said, or worrying. Just...
But your father does pause, wondering openly on his face whether or not he should mention what it said.
Like, what said exactly? The actual name of the
About
time
the...
dot? Or, sorry.
Yes. The actual name of what it was called.
I think it was, the actual name was mentioned, but I can't remember exactly what it was.
It was a rough translation, but time dial is not incorrect. It is a shortened, simplified, it's the layman term, essentially. But the actual term that was spoken, the one that you just said, is the sands of the cosmic shores. If that's what's being altered, it makes sense that my divination is no longer working.
Yeah. It wasn't just that, too, because the Black King and Miss Devore were originally in the opposite positions.
Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
Just immediately turns to look. It's just like, Amy, hold on, what are you doing?
Shoves a pastry into your hands, runs away.
Uh,
It's literally a croissant, stuffed croissant.
yeah. He stares at it for a moment, realizes he's actually kind of hungry. He hasn't had anything to eat since they started studying. And just noms.
It's like, you know, the Boston creams with the like heavy, thick filling?
Yeah,
It's that, but a croissant.
delicious. I actually want that now. God damn it.
It happens every time I talk about sweets.
Because sweets are good! Anyways.
Yeah. But as you're nomming on that, there is a sort of smile from both of your parents of, oh good, he's eating something that means it's not too terribly bothersome right now. Because you've noticed that you tend to eat, like Tsubasa tends to eat whenever he's thinking, or if he's nervous or too nervous, he stops eating.
Yeah.
So they're relieved that you're at least eating something small.
And he does nibble for a moment before he looks up at them and it's just, we found out about King and Queen in our first year, but at the end of my second year, that's when we found out about the time loops, because we met people who remembered the previous loops, but we also kind of, I think, remembered the last one, or one of the previous ones, before we got sent back, I think.
Do you know the time which it goes back to? Your father speaks up. Perhaps I could get a gauge on what the significant event is that they can't go past.
And Tsubasa does take a moment, once again nibbling at the croissant, to try to recall if he actually did know that.
Roll. You tell me, would it be intelligence, history, or arcana? If you can justify it, I'll let you roll something else.
Well, I mean, I can see insight kind of working too, because basically inciting what his own memories to see at which point would make the most sense, I would suppose.
Mm-hmm.
If not that,
So go ahead
though.
and roll insight.
Okay. 15! God damn it.
It's a little fuzzy. You remember a lot of things, and the old timelines kind of bleeding in makes it a little hard to decipher. But you do get the feeling that it has to deal with someone in your immediate friend group, and you can't remember which one it is.
Can I roll a history to try to get a better clarity on that?
Sure.
Just thinking so hard. 18. I rolled better with the lower modifier.
It happens. It's better than not rolling above a 15 on anything. But it takes you a little while this time. Going through your memories, going through what you've been told, studies, even talking to Avery a couple times, as now Avery understands that you're going through a time loop and seems unfettered by it for some reason, though you equate it to being the time studies master. And especially for graduation prep, that's one of Avery's deals. So you kind of sift through your own memories. You try to read into it, but you're too nervous, you're too hungry, you're too this, you're too that. It's a little overwhelming. So you take a breath and you try again from a different angle. Instead of trying to read into the emotional side of things, you go into what you know, the facts, the absolute truths. And what you recall is that pretty recently, right before Iris rushed out, she said that something had to deal with Lex being a linchpin. That Queen had mentioned Lex being shattered.
And he just blinks as he comes to that realization. It's just, it was when Lex got, well, shattered.
Your father blinks. The night boy.
Yeah.
What role does he have to play in all this? Isn't it just you and your friends?
Well, Lex is one of my friends, but, I don't know his exact role, but he seems to be the linchpin, basically, for this. A lot of it, at least. Even,
There's a muttering under his breath of, with your perception, you know he's muttering something about icons, which you know only the royal capital should know about.
yeah, and that does get Tsubasa just sort of leaning forward. It's just like, wait, what was that about icons?
It's complicated. It's something I run into when I was younger with your mother. Just some old details on. And he looks over at her, and she shrugs in that manner of, "I don't have any say in this. It's your information. What do you want me to do about it?"
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, just what am I supposed to do here? And he looks back at you and goes, "We ran into a couple of old icons before their untimely demise, and we thought they were mostly gone for good. But it appears, with what we have heard of in our noble procedures, that's not quite the case. It seems that their powers have been passed on again. Are you saying that the rumors of your friend housing Leviathan is true?"
And Tsubasa nods at that. Just, I saw it myself, honestly.
They both frown. "You're not hurt, are you?"
No, no, of course not. Uh, it was mostly during, a couple of times actually, but I was never hurt. He never used it against us. It was always to protect, really.
Your father nods in that slow manner of, "Okay, that says volumes. Still not okay with it," kind of nod.
It's just, Lex would never actually hurt any of us if, well, as long as we don't give him a reason to, technically, but I guess that's true for everyone. But no, he's never used it against us. It's always been to defend himself or to protect others, like when Azrath showed up.
They both squint, as if they know that name. "How do you know that name, kiddo?"
And that, if a person could wilt, that would be Tsubasa right now, and just me, because I'm pretty sure he's my patron.
"That's not possible. He's not that strong, as far as I remember."
He's always been hanging around me, though, and he's at least part of the reason why I'm like this now.
You see the telltale signs of your mother starting to be like visibly planning to kill somebody. Like that, she's not even trying to hide it. She's glancing around the room of what would be best.
It's just like, oh God, Sama, please. He's not here right now.
That doesn't mean he won't be.
Well, he won't be for a while, at least. Not after me, at least. Now, their focus seems to mostly be on Lex.
Why?
Because of Leviathan, I think. The last time I actually talked to Azrath, he had mentioned that they, and I don't know who they are, but they wanted Lex to get mad. And he was supposed to come back after a week, but then we were at the castle and someone else attacked the castle technically, but by putting everyone into a dream, different dreams, and after that happened, I got a letter from him basically saying he was going to wait until I was stronger.
Your mother scoffs, just a whatever. Seems like that old idiot is being honorable for once in his life.
You guys know about him?
Yeah, he used to be a dragon on Corona, protecting some old tower.
Tsubasa knows about Corona through Helia, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah. Just like, that's Helia's homeworld. Why, how did he, why is he not there anymore?
As your father speaks up, as far as we understood it, he left because he was offered something better.
He sits there processing for a moment before he just sighs and is just like, why does everything have to be so complicated?
Does it have to be, kiddo?
Well, ever since all of this started happening, ever since we found out about King and Queen not being the Black King and White King originally, but being the White King and Black Queen instead, but apparently, like, am I even allowed to say this to you? Iris was the one who talked to her to begin with.
Share what you think you can, kiddo. At least you're talking to us now.
Sorry. Even though I've been going through all of this, it doesn't feel real, you know?
And she just throws up her hands and is like, because it's been like fucking what? 3 years and you've gone through 10 years of strife? Calm down.
I'm trying.
Say fuck you to the universe. Fuck you. And she flips off the air.
I kind of already been doing that.
No. Are you ending up like your old woman? And she grins.
Well, I mean, it's part of the reason why I can do arcane writing now.
You can do what? As your older sister steps in.
Just the very visible jump of, when did you get there?
You really don't know when she was there. She just ended up in the doorway.
I taught myself how to do arcane writing because it was apparently the only way I could write down universal secrets.
Ooh, can you teach me? I want to do something fun like that. And a hero just goes, no. Arcane writing is supposed to be extinct because it uses too much mana on the user. That's something from leftover from, I believe, Scala days. A long time ago.
Anybody who's looking at Tsubasa would probably be able to see the moment of, oh right, I've been there too.
How open do you think your expression is on hearing that it's from Scala?
He takes after his father.
And Tsukiyomi is the first to speak up as she sits down, setting down a kind of basic charcuterie board, but it's even more extensive than just cheese and whatever. It's like cheese and apples and fritters and pastries and things to nibble at. And your mother just kind of shuffles. She takes after you with eating, but in reverse of she eats when she's nervous.
What
So
is...
she already is picking up like 3 apple slices, a fritter, like. So you can tell she's nervous. For some reason, she's a little more guarded than your father. And Tsukiyomi goes, well, do you have something to say about Scala?
Would you guys believe me if I say that me and my friends were kind of summoned there?
To a dead world? No, absolutely not. And your father just grimaces of, it
Well,
was lost. It doesn't mean it was dead. I've told you this before, Tsukiyomi.
I think we ended up in Scala Column in the past a little bit because we were talking to Ephemer and Strelitzia. Strelitzia?
Strelitzia.
Strelitzia. He's doing the fucking finger touch thing, just.
They look at each other and go, and Tsukiyomi speaks up again. You mean the dead masters? I'm finding that hard to believe.
Harder to believe than time loops?
What? She wasn't in the room for that.
Oh, right, okay.
And your father reaches up a hand and just calm down. We'll inform you what you've missed, Tsukiyomi, in a moment. She shrugs. Okay. Just know that I don't know anything right now. I'm just trying to keep up pace. And they both nod. And Akira looks over at you, not really eating anything. Again, takes after you, or you take after him with not eating when you're nervous. And he goes, I do admittedly find it a little hard to believe that you traveled into the past, summoning or not, as that requires a lot of, well, mastery.
Well, they were the ones to summon us.
And how would they know to summon you directly?
Well, they're not as dead as people think they are.
If they're in the past, they very well could be.
Well, no, because they're with 2 of my friends, too. They're like voices in their heads, sort of.
He squints at you. Elaborate?
Apparently 2 of my friends can hear them and talk with them, and Ephemer and Strelitzia can talk with each other through some kind of link. I'm not sure. I might have tried reading Lance's mind when that sort of conversation was happening, and I got pulled into both of them, and then there was a really bad headache afterwards, but I think that was probably because I wasn't supposed to do that. But they were the ones who gave us a spell that said that would summon them, but then they summoned us to Scala Column, and even offered us a chance to learn there if we were able to go back at some point.
You, Tsubasa, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh boy, okay. That's just a 10.
Surprisingly, meets it. You wince a little bit in that sense of it. You can't hide the fact that you suddenly have a sharp pain in your head.
Yeah.
If you had rolled like a 15 or higher, I would say that you'd be able to hide it if you wanted to. But since you didn't, it's like, kind of response.
Just,
As there's like a static sound. It's not like sharp ringing static like tinnitus, like what you currently have.
The magical tinnitus.
Kind of, yeah. It's similar to when you know that sound when I turned on the radio headphones.
Yeah, it was making that funky noise.
Yeah, that mixed with TV snow. So it's a little uncomfortable, but it's not sharp.
Yeah, but it's enough for him to just rub at his ears a bit, just like, mm.
And then through the static, you think you hear a voice of, get through.
He hears the voice and he does take a moment to see if he can listen harder to it.
Roll perception.
I swear to God, if I roll badly with a plus 14, nope, that's 33.
The first word you hear is fuck!
The jump and flinch of, ah!
And then it takes a little while of ignoring your parents worrying about you, which you know it's gonna backfire on you, but you're kind of curious. You hear it clear out a little bit, the static. It's not completely gone, it's just you're hearing past it. And you hear kind of a androgynously male voice kind of go, fuck? Oh, work? Okay. Is it working? Am I through? Did I do this spell right? Strells! Did I do this right?
I can hear you?
Oh shit, fuck, okay. Hi, what's up, kiddo?
Hi? What's happening? What are you doing?
Are you saying this aloud?
Well, he's muttering it at the very least.
You see your sister out of the corner of your eye turn to face you a little bit as your mother and father seem to not notice that you're muttering.
Tsubasa
But you
at this
continue
point
talking to the voice.
Yeah, Tsubasa at this point doesn't know whether or not talking in his head will be useful.
Just, okay, so I think, oh, that's what I messed up. 1 second, kiddo. And you hear the static full force again before it completely clears out. It's like, okay, sorry about that. How you doing? I don't think I've ever contacted you, actually.
Who... First question, who are you?
You feel a 2-finger salute even though you don't see it. He goes, Master Lorio, I'm at your service.
Oh.
Or rather, at your kind of knowledge service, I guess. And you hear a laugh.
What's happening?
Oh, nothing. I'm just establishing a line of connection. I'm really bad at this sort of thing. My magic's not that strong.
But, why?
Why not? You not want answers? I can leave.
No, he reacts physically before he can stop himself, just like, wait, no, mm-hmm.
Your father notices that something's happening and just watches your facial expressions. Your mother also catches on as you look over at her, and she's just chowing down on the charcuterie board with that nervous mom expression of, my baby, I will kill.
Tsubasa, after a moment, his hands covering his mouth, just thinks, can I talk to you like this instead?
You feel the ... of, it's a little muffled, but yeah. It's like you can't think for yourself right now, because I'm kind of in here, so it's easier if you talk.
And behind, he doesn't uncover his mouth, but now he's talking into his hands, just like, okay, cool, awesome. My parents and sister are going to think I'm crazy now.
Well, you are, from what I'm reading.
What?
So, what questions do you got? Because I've kind of read up on what Effie and Strel's kind of sent to you. And you hear the page of a book kind of flip nonchalantly, as if someone is either reading a journal or reading like a novel, because the sound of a hardback is different from the sound of a paper copy, and you know this. He or she is reading like a soft paper cover, so it might not be a real actual book that helps him.
It might just be a book there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, well, I mean, I have a lot of questions. Jeez. Yeah, he's thinking for a moment, trying to piece together exactly what caused this to happen, other than you said it was Master Lorium?
Yes.
Other than Master Lorium making contact with him, just like, okay, hold on.
Well, you mentioned Effie and Strells is where I was able to get a hold of you.
Yeah,
Kind of like a pinging radar.
Oh, yeah, I was telling my mom and dad, Okasama and Papa, that they had technically kind of summoned me and my friends.
Oh, that's why Strells was leaving out of here in a huff. That's bad for her, you know. I don't want my sister to go down like that, so quit making her worried.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she's a worrywart. I can't help that. It's not your fault. Continue.
But, yeah, we were summoned to Scalad Column into the past, yeah? Or is
He
it...
makes a noise like, you're not quite on the right track, but you have the right idea.
Was it in a... sort of... what's the word? What's the word? If it
Take your time, kiddo. I'm here all day.
If it wasn't in the past, was it in some sort of, like, pocket dimension but for time?
Bingo! Yahtzee! You got it. See, it didn't take you too long.
So, Scala Column still technically exists?
Yup. We're just kind of separated from time for the time being. I guess you could say we're in a loop of our own. Also, yes, I am kind of flipping through what you know. Sorry.
It's fine. There is a lot of information.
No kidding. And you hear another page turn.
He just sits there for a moment because he does have many questions and is just like, so they...
Do you want me to speak openly? Because I can. I just need to adjust the runes and it'll be like a harsh sound for a bit.
As long as it's not as bad as when I told the universe no.
Yeah, you're that. Don't do that. I think that's how you get tinnitus. And you hear a sharp like. It's it's not nails on a chalkboard. It's like chalk on a chalkboard, except the sound that happens when it's a new chalk like piece, which might be a little worse.
Yeah.
This gentle shriek.
He's cringing at that, just like, ah.
It sounds. What's your passive insight?
Passive insight, let's see, 21.
As you're unfortunately bearing sound to this sound in your head, it very much seems like the sound that's happening is the sound of him while adjusting the runes using a piece of magic or physical kind of item to kind of like tune it, like readjust where the projection is headed. Which means he's adjusting the runes, which makes the static sound kind of like a radio or an old TV with one of those antennae.
Yeah, that was my first thought, honestly.
Yeah. It's basically what it is. And after a few moments of basically runic readjustment, he goes, okay, can I hear me? Hey, I can't see you, but can you hear me? As the three others just jump out of their skin of just like, whoa, what the fuck kind of reaction.
Yeah, Tsubasa just the apologetic smile of, yeah, that's been happening just now.
I don't think that's healthy for you, but as long as it's not just in your head, it should be fine. Oi, I am a living person. I'm not just a voice in somebody's head. Who are you? Master Lorium. Get with the times. And your father goes wide-eyed. Master Lorium? Aren't you dead? In the flesh, baby! Absolutely not. I'm hard to kill.
Apparently, Scala Odd Column is in a time pocket of some kinds.
That's roughly the translation I would give it. The masters are keeping it from falling to cinders and ruins, while our heroes have ditched us. Or rather, I guess, the stars chosen, I guess you could call them. Not heroes anymore. But they're still here, but they're not. They're kind of projections. You're the ones that have them currently. Your little pocket of reality. And you can feel the finger waggle. Like the woo.
Would Tsubasa be able to tell what he means by the stars chosen?
What's your intelligence score?
The score is 14.
It doesn't ring an immediate bell. You can roll for it, either history or intelligence.
Roll history because I have a slightly better chance at it. Dirty 20!
So it takes you a little bit, and you notice that your father and mother recognize it faster than you, but don't say anything quite yet. Your sister is lagging behind severely. She's like, what's happening? Hello? God?
God, are you there?
I think we killed him. Like that kind of reaction. But you kind of pick up that Stars Chosen is similar to being a hero, but instead of choosing your outcome like an adventurer, it's you have a destiny that you can't avoid. And you've read about it in books. It's supposed to be kind of a tragic tale, like a Greek epic. It's similar to the trope of answering the call and doomed by the narrative put together.
Oof.
And in some cases, as you've read, it's similar to the narrative's favorite, which is arguably worse.
Oof.
There is no good outcome to being a Stars Chosen. Either you win and you die, or you die and someone else that you care about has to watch it. That kind of thing. You always end up dead. Is what you remember, at least.
Yeah. Did they...
And...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it would be Tsubasa just like, did they run away?
Run away is a strong term. I think they're the reason we're stuck here right now. Long story short, the stars chose a group of 5 kids to wield Keyblades based on different worlds. And those kids, right now, are still here, but at some point, even their projections are going to follow what they're supposed to do, as they've done before many times again, and we'll have to set it back to normal. We're stuck on a loop that everybody knows about because of them. And hold on. And he pauses. Audibly flips through a journal a couple of times. Like, you hear the journal, the hardback this time. And it just... You call them King and Queen?
Amadeus and Reina.
Not Reina, that's not her name.
It's the one everyone here knows her by.
You do realize that just means queen? That's not a name, that's a title. And he laughs.
Tsubasa huffs at that. It's just like, look, it's what we all know her as.
Well, Amadeus is his name. That is, quote-unquote, King's name. Amadeus is... what, and you hear static. Not emptiness, static. And he's just, So I can't say that. Can I say... Serafina is in your static.
I got Serafina?
Yeah, she is who you call Reina. That's her name.
They used to be the Stars Chosen.
2 of them.
He does.
Do you know who Laith is? Ooh, I can say Laith's name.
Yeah, I sort of met her and I think an angel in a dream before.
Yeah, she's basically our dream stater, the one who can grant immediate access to any dream and any reality.
Yeah, she asked me to bring the people important to her back to her. Or to find them at least.
You hear the sigh of, I wouldn't rely so much on her immediate visage. She's, from what we've gathered, she's kind of lost it.
What do you mean by lost it?
Diviner, you, hey, you. And you feel the point towards Akiro.
It's just like, his name's Akiro.
Yeah, the diviner. The one that I can feel trying to pry into my magic. Stop that. It's gonna hurt. You're not gonna like it. He's just like, sorry. Just curious. Be curious, don't be dumb. I need to ask you a question. Do you or do you not... how do I phrase this without sounding rude? Man, this is hard. Hate being a master. You... How much do you know of dream stating? Not a lot. And Tsukiyomi pipes up. Oh, I know this one. Dream stating is a term used for diving into dreams. It was once called deep diving, but depending on the layer of the dream, technically you can get lost in a state of memoria, essentially being trapped in your own memories and going insane.
Is that what happened to Lace?
Yup. She kind of went too far trying to get rid of her own destiny by deep diving into one of the sleeping stars, one of the sleeping worlds, and got trapped. So she's gone bonkers. And thinks that everyone is either not on her side and she will kill them, or she will drag others into the dream with her. I'm surprised you got out of her dream.
Yeah, nobody tried to stop me from waking up.
That means she needs you for something. Congratulations, you're lucky. Don't go back there.
Well, I don't know how I ended up there in the first place.
If you feel or smell before you go to sleep, if you smell lilacs and daisies, try not to fall asleep until they go away. Alright?
Okay.
Specifically purple lilacs. That's her signature.
Alright.
The daisies are irrelevant in this part.
So don't go to sleep when I smell lilacs and daisies. Got it.
If you do, you might end up trapped.
But that doesn't mean that nobody can help me get out, yeah?
Only someone with a strong enough light can do so, essentially. It's really hard to explain. You gotta be like some sort of beacon, kind of like a lighthouse.
Kind of like...
But I haven't seen anybody like that since Amadeus.
Would mirror forms count?
Mirror forms? Oh man, you're bringing up ancient shit.
It's not my fault ancient shit keeps coming to me!
That's fair. Sorry. And he laughs a little bit. No. Mirror forms are... How do I explain that one? Mirror forms are not mirrors. They're you from the sleeping worlds. Basically, same person, different outcome. They're like a reflection, almost.
Yeah.
All of your worst traits kind of come to the surface in the best way possible, but it's still you. Meaning still has the same abilities, still has the same outcomes, still has the same trip-ups. Just the ones that you show are hidden, and the ones that you don't show are, around.
But it's possible still, yeah?
If it's a strong enough light source, I guess. Why? Does one of your friends have a mirror form that's pure light or something? Oh, wait, just found it. Yes, they do. Man, that's a beacon. I can't even look at that one. Yikes.
Wait, are you?
Yeah, that'll work.
Wait, how can you actually see it? It's just the squint of suspicion of, you're not looking in my memories, are you?
I plead the fifth. Moving on. Do you have any questions, any of you? I knew you were talking about something when I typed in, but I didn't hear the full story. Ooh, you're dating somebody. He's cute.
Stop.
He's cute. Oh, he's pure darkness. How does he have a mirror form that's pure light? What the hell's going on? Hold on, I'm curious now. And you actually feel like it feels kind of like a detect thoughts, but on a stronger level. There's kind of like a knock at the back of your brain of like, I'm not gonna enter without you wanting me to, but I'm kind of curious.
And Tsubasa does hesitate for a moment because just like he doesn't know what all Lorium is going to find, but after a moment he doesn't resist.
Thank you, kiddo. I won't betray this. Just give me a second. I'm curious about this. You hear a distant humming.
Yeah. Everyone present can see Tsubasa he's a tomato now. He's a tomato and suddenly there's a very interesting spot on the floor in front of him.
Your mother just raises a brow and goes, pure darkness, huh? As they can still hear him.
Yeah. Aster is someone who's got the darkness affinity.
Well, darkness affinity doesn't mean pure darkness.
He's also... Did Aster ever tell him about his plans about becoming the what's its
I think
name?
it was like the Seeker of Darkness.
Yeah, the Seeker of Darkness.
I think it was offhand mentioned that he might look into it. I don't think he has stated that he is actually going to do it.
Yeah, so Tsubasa's like, well, Aster has mentioned he's been looking into something with the Seeker of Darkness.
That's an ancient title. What is it with you kids and the ancient stuff?
Like I said, it keeps getting brought up with us.
You know how in Cycle, there's just a head that pops out of the body when one of the souls is talking?
Yeah.
You feel someone peek over your shoulder, but you don't see anybody. You're just like, oh, yeah, Seeker of Darkness. That's not really ancient. It's just a really bad title to have in this day and age, I see. Oh, man. Dude? Oh my god. Really? Tsubasa. This gives you the look, and you know for some reason that he has a hold of essentially the short textbook of the memory of the day you met Aster. Like Aster, not Caesar.
Yeah.
Like, really? Love at first sight? Are you kidding me?
Shut up, please.
Dude. Really? Oh, I'm not looking into this anymore. I read enough young adult novels from my kids. God damn it. Embarrassing. Why do I have you as my descendant? God damn.
What?
And peeked away again.
Wait, hold on. What? At this point, he looks towards his parents with the look of, wait, what? Does he mean descendant?
And while Dominique looks a little confused like you, Tsukiyomi and Akira look at each other and go, "Oh, that's why they can." All right, like that kind of look. And Tsukiyomi just holds out a hand of like gesture, not really to hold it out to you, like the "I'm about to start talking" hand gesture.
Yeah, and Tsubasa does look over at her because she seems to be able to explain.
So there's a kind of distinction between physical bloodline descendant and a magical descendant. Magical descendants are similar to when a master hands off a title in the master's council. You get access to all of the powers of the previous masters, but at the same time, you get all of the powers of the previous master of that title. It's kind of like a blessing and a curse. A magical descendant, in layman's terms, is a master that has given up their powers to pass on to someone who has the same amount of potential as them. Usually it's only done in extreme emergencies, and she looks kind of in your general direction, as if to look at Lorium. It seems like that might be the case for Master Lorium here, and his friends, and my sister, and your sister.
So, right, Lance and Helia were told the same thing, weren't they?
You remember vaguely that there was a mention of magical descendants, yeah?
Yeah. But, wait, in that case, if we're not even in the same pockets of reality, how am I your descendant?
Because we used to be over there, and you feel like it's kind of weird. It's like someone walking up the staircase of your brain, who, like, and going, okay, I'm done. And taking a seat next to you in a physicality sense, but you can't see them. It's very, very weird and disorienting.
He does instinctually look in the direction that it feels like Lorium had sit down beside him in.
You feel like it's on your left side, like he's giving you and your family space,
Yeah. So,
which is the only respectful thing he's actually done right now.
yeah, so he does glance to his left, not actually seeing Lorium, of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just so when you guys were still in the same pocket as us, that's when it happened?
Oh yeah, no, we fully collapsed. Our world collapsed straight up. That's why everyone thinks we're dead. That's why we had to go back a little bit. It's a sort of defense mechanism from Daybreak. Of if we get caught in a spiral of constant destruction, we go back and fix it. But we haven't been able to just yet because we don't have the linchpins. Bastards ran away.
So the linchpins for you guys are the kings and queens. The- Or because there's Amadeus, there's uh Seraphina, and Lath and
Lath.
Zemnis.
Oh, you met Zemnis too. Yeah, he's a little iffy on the running away. I think he just messed up an experiment at the time of everything falling apart.
Yeah, he was sort of glitching in and out of time the first time we met him.
Yeah, that tracks for him. Yeah, I think we can fix that pretty easily. Do you know where you last saw him?
And he stops to think and just. Because it was still during their first year, yeah?
Yes, it's when you got the book.
Yeah, so at the magic tower outside of it?
Oh, of course it's there. Just the groan of someone who has dealt with the magic tower before. Always the magic tower. Fuck that guy's domain, man.
Well, Emrys isn't that bad.
Who? I was talking about Yensid and his goofy ass pal.
Oh, yeah, Emerus is the current master of the magic tower, if I remember right.
Hold on. Do you have a memory of this guy? Can I see it?
If it would make it easier, yeah.
Yep. Give me a second. You just a bunch of books. Where's your library? It's all over the place. Like complaining about your disorganized mess of a brain.
It's just like, hey.
It's not something you can control. I'm just complaining.
If I think
Or
about him
maybe
specifically, will that help?
I don't know. Can you try?
And Tsubasa does take a moment to focus on Emerus.
Oh, that's a couple books. So narrow it down.
How exactly?
I just need to know what he looks like.
So he thinks about Emerus's appearance specifically.
Oh, there it is. Thank you, kiddo. And you just feel like it's kind of weird to feel like someone kind of walk across your brain. Like it's very, very weird. It genuinely feels like the first timer of a ritual spell.
Yeah, and
Like he's not used.
Tsubasa is sitting there with the expression of, am I just a search engine now?
No, you're not. Sorry. No, you're not a search engine. I genuinely just don't know what's going on. So I'm trying to pick up pace.
Okay.
They don't tell me shit. Go ahead and talk to your family. I'm gonna look at this dude. Because he might look like Merlin or Yensid, I'm not sure.
Tsubasa at this point does finally look over at his parents and just that sheepish smile of, you see what I've been dealing with?
Surprisingly, not the worst thing you could have dealt with. Having someone in your brain from the past is part and parcel, I think, for an adventuring party.
Yeah, like I said, and two of my friends have Ephemer and Strelitzia.
That makes a little more sense now that we've actually seen it. Or heard it, I suppose. And Tsukiyami just giggled.
But this is a lot of what we've been dealing with. We've been finding out things that aren't right. The whole time loop thing, because there's apparently been a lot of time loops that either... He does glance in the direction of Amy for a moment before he continues. Just like, a lot of the time loops apparently... We've never actually...
Ah, why is the kid here?
What?
Why is the kid here? What the hell?
That's my...
You see... Yeah. There seems to be an actual legitimate response of, I can see this kid. And he's like, fuck, where'd the kid come from?
Kid? You mean Amy?
Black hair.
Yeah, that's my little sister.
He's pink. He's
Wait.
like Suki.
Wait, you can actually see him?
Uh-huh, he's right there. And points right next to you.
Tsubasa does stare at the spot where she's pointing and just for a moment does try to see if he can see Lorium as well.
Roll Arcana with advantage because your sister is pointing it out.
Arcana with advantage. Do not fail me now. It failed me.
You do see a very, very vague outline. It's like a heat mirage kind of outline.
Ooh, wibbly wobbly.
Yeah.
But he does reach out to try and touch it.
Ah, don't do that. And you see it like vaguely back up.
Wait, how?
Like, moved. Oh, that's why she keeps talking about ghosts, Suki says.
Amy can see other things like this?
She's been complaining for the past 2 years almost that she's been able to see ghosts. Says it's part of her, Phantom Thieves training.
Oh, right. Yeah, she talked about that during our birthday party.
I am going to be the greatest Phantom Thief ever, and I'm going to have a ghost partner, and I'm going to be so cool.
I mean, I won't deny that you'll be cool, Amy. Just, I don't know how common ghost partners are.
Well, if you can't see them, it doesn't matter. Only I can see them. Ha!
Well,
And she does like a proud little stance.
that does get Tsubasa to stick his tongue out. Or just like, well, I can kind of see him.
Yeah, but he's pink, like Suki. Except he's like goth? Is that the word? I'm not goth! Why does everybody say I'm goth?
Tsubasa's going to try to look again, just like, okay, now hold on.
Roll one more time.
Is it just a flat roll this time?
Yep.
Okay, Arcana, alright. 14.
It comes into focus a little bit more. It's still hazy, a little bit blurry on the kind of inside. Like, you see the outline clearly. You see the sharp edges of a jacket. You see how long the jacket is. You see the boots kind of vaguely punk-ish. And even the jacket looks kind of like a punk exterior, but the inside is like really bright and bubbly. And his hair is bright pink and spiky. But you can't make out the eyes or the facial features or the actual inside details of any of what he's wearing.
What?
He can't be older than your parents.
It does get Tsubasa to just blink a few times because he actually is saying this. Hello? Okay? Is this going to happen from now on? He doesn't know.
Oh shit, I can see you. Fuck, what the hell? Stop doing that.
That's... Well, it's hard not to when Amy can see you too.
She's not supposed to see me either. She's not the focus of the spell.
Yeah, Amy's got some interesting abilities.
Hold on. I think I can figure out what she has if you want me to.
I mean... And he does glance over at his parents just like, would that even be proper?
They look very anxious. They probably already know vaguely what she has and is worried that something might happen if he tries. But they don't. With your insight, they don't seem against it. They're just concerned. Like they would need reassurance that something won't go wrong.
Yeah. Nothing will actually happen to her, right?
No, I'm not gonna hurt a kid. Not that bad.
Yeah, but nothing will go wrong.
No,
right?
it shouldn't. I can't guarantee 100% success, but I'm pretty good at finding things.
And after a moment, Tsubasa motions for Amy to come over to him because he doesn't know 100% what he can do, but he's still going to try to protect her from anything. And just...
She like skitters over to you, Valra style, and just sits next to you and leans.
Yeah, and he puts an arm around her, the protective big brother style, and just... Alright, if you can try, go ahead.
I'm actually going to roll for him, because even though he's a master, he can still mess up.
Yeah.
There are some things he's good at, which he gets advantage on, and other things where he has, like, abysmal stats on, so... You don't make out a facial expression, but you hear, like, the sound of someone who is not expecting as much resistance, almost, and you see Amy go... Bleh. Kind of like someone poked her on the nose.
Yeah, and he does sort of give her a little squeeze as he mutters to her, "It's all right. I'm right here."
That's funky. I don't like that. It's like, I can stop if you want, kid. I was like, no, you're just weird. I'm used to weird. And he just does a hello. Kind of reaction?
Yeah, and he's just Tsubasa just yeah, our family's unique.
And you see Amy just do that again. Like the kid response of nah. Yeah. Just the ew, gross, yeah kind of response.
Yeah.
And you hear Loriam go, "Oh, that's a. Can't believe that's still around.
What'd you find?
She has a very unique ability to perceive. How do I say this? Perceive things between realms. It's not ghosts. They're like echoes of what could have been. That's why she can see me, because I exist, but I'm on a different realm. So her life is probably pretty crowded. And she does like glance around of like, yeah, there's a lot of people in here, but they don't seem to be responding much. Well, people is not. Can you explain, Mr.
Lorian.
Pink?
His name's Lorian.
Oh, Lumum, Lim, Lim,
Lore?
Mr. Mlam.
Okay. Just
And he's like, you know what? I've heard worse. And he kind of thinks for a moment. You visibly see his expression twist of like, it's not bad twist. It's like, how do I say it? How do I explain it to a child? How do I explain to a toddler? It's the response of this is all medical jargon, and a 5-year-old wants me to explain it, like that kind of response.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you're seeing are people you know, but from different points in time.
You called them
So,
echoes, right?
yeah, echoes is correct.
Yeah, and Tsubasa does look at Amy at that point. It's just like, hey, Amy, you know when we're in a really big room and we yell and can hear our voices bounce back at us, yeah?
Uh-huh, a really fun sound.
That's kind of what he means by the people, except seeing you're seeing the sound instead of just hearing it.
Oh. So people are like in a big room and I can see them but not the room?
Yeah, kind of.
It's so. And she thinks for a moment, doing that little hunch over of like, I can get this. I can get this. I'm a big girl. I can get this. And she mutters to herself for a moment before it's like, okay, I can get it. I can get it.
I believe in you.
So it's like the sound isn't on the wall, but on that thing or person, and I
Yeah,
can see the sound around it.
kind of. Yeah, the they had already yelled in the big room, but you're seeing that yell when the person is already gone. When they left the room.
So I'm the wall.
Yes. Yeah, you're the wall,
Oh,
so you're seeing it after it gets bounced back.
okay, that's cool. I'll be great Phantom Thief tactic. I can be the wall that hears everything.
Tsubasa with the expression of, "Oh no, I have made it worse."
And you hear Lorium kind of laugh and go, well, my ritual spell's kind of running out. But if you got any questions, just think them. I can pick them up later.
Okay. I guess I'll end up talking to you later.
Maybe, if you call me.
Okay. Do I just like think of you at that point, or?
You have the spell to brewing yourself over here, right?
Yeah, it was given to Lance and Helia.
That should work. Just readjust it for Lorium instead of Ephemer and Strelitzia.
Okay.
I'll just put like a sticky note on your brain of how to spell my name. Is that alright?
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
And kind of after a moment, it's less of a sticky note and more like your brain goes, oh, that's how you spell it.
It's just like,
And I'm pretty sure
okay.
you, the player, know how to spell Lorium.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have you put it down in my notes anyways, but yes.
Hmm. So you kind of get the sticky note, quote unquote.
Yeah, and just the blanket. Oh, okay. Thank you. Um, 'cause
And you
it's,
like feel like unintentionally, right as he's walking, oh, like you feel him walking away. You hear the like old man pop of joints, of like, oh, shit, and it just ends.
yeah, and Tsubasa sits there, still an arm around Amy, just slowly processing before he looks up at his parents, just like, ta-da.
So the time loops don't seem that bad anymore, actually. Do you know anything about how we remember them?
Uh, well, apparently for me and my friends, we have to keep living, but the
I
others,
sure hope so.
the others said that they had died and were brought back.
Damn. Well, no one can kill me, so I'm kind of shit out of luck. And Suki just thinks for a moment. What if? Hmm. What if that's actually not actually what's happening?
What do you mean?
Well, here's the thing about when you get close to death. Getting close to death triggers a sort of psychological response. It makes your body go into a comatose state right before. It's sort of like limbo. And when you're pulled back, when you're actually off the cusp and dipping into the beyond, as a cleric of the kingdom, I've kind of noticed that it's not bringing someone back from death, it's coaxing the spirit back to the body. What if it's something similar to that of you just went a little farther and it's a little more difficult to bring you back? To convince you to come back once you're already gone. And so maybe it's just life no longer knowing what to restrain from you.
That would make sense, honestly.
Well, go. I don't know much about this. I don't want to test it on anybody or myself. So if you can ask someone you know. I heard a name earlier of a doctor. I just didn't catch it.
Dr. Saren Gainsborough.
Oh,
He's
he's still alive.
Yeah, he's actually kind of
Well,
my
they,
official
I think.
doc. Well, yeah, they're kind of my official doctor. They're the ones who gave me anxiety medication, at least.
Oh, good. How you feeling?
Considerably less anxious.
You know what they gave you?
Out of character, I do not remember. It
It
was a
was like a natural remedy. I think it was
yeah,
berries for you.
yeah. It was some kind of berry. I can't remember the name of it, but uh, wait, hold on. I think I still have some with me because Tsubasa would not go anywhere without at least a few doses of the medication. Just he pulls out the small bag to hold out to Tsukiyomi.
And she kind of looks at it, taking it from you with a hesitant motion. Goes, I've seen these before. In their base form, they're magic suppressants.
Oh,
It's, oh, I see what he's doing, or they're doing. Oh, shush. Shush me. Get it right. And she's, okay. So basically, and she hands them back to you, she explains.
okay.
basically what he's done is reverse what they've done. Is they've reversed engineered the suppressant into a relaxant. I think they've targeted that your magic is the cause of most of your anxiety, and they've mostly considered it as a form of basically, this is gonna sound bad, but drugging your magic into relaxing.
What?
So if you ever need to just boost yourself, don't take your medicine for a day, essentially.
My magic's causing my anxiety?
Well, here's the thing about magic. Most people have enough in their system to get by, to go through the days and cast a couple spells, cast a couple healing, cast some help, but not much more than that. It seems like you and your friends, the more magic you have, the harder it is to control it, which does make sense for my studies as a cleric. It's basically like an overload, an overstimulation of your senses. Because you can hear more, taste more, see more, hear more. So,
Yeah. And Tsubasa does stare at the bag for a moment, and he's actively trying to remember, has he had any oracle visions since he started taking the medication?
you've had minor ones, like day out
Yeah.
oracle visions,
Yeah, and
and none of them were bad.
yeah. It does get him to think for a moment, because the only time he had a really bad one was before the medicine. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. You did.
Yeah, and it's just, well, I guess this explains the changes in the visions.
Uh-huh. What visions? Are you getting visions?
Uh, um, yeah, that's another thing I guess I forgot to mention with everything else. I am apparently in Oracle.
Well, that's bad. That's bad for you.
I've been getting classes for it though. By one of the previous oracles.
Ooh.
Mr. Grey Highwind? No, not for the last couple of years. It's been Grandmaster Gwen helping me with that. The silence speaks volumes.
No, I'm taking notes.
Okay. I remember you said that Gray was originally his teacher, but after going off to basically take a vacation with his nephew, Gwen has been the one taking over the classes.
Yeah. So they kind of look at each other. Even Amy seems a little off-put by the knowledge, because everybody knows about what the status of oracles usually is, which is basically that they're contracted to work under a faction, which you haven't chosen yours yet. So you've probably gotten tons and tons of messages on your phone every so often of just like, "Hey, you haven't joined a faction. We could use you over here," like kind of advertising.
Yeah, so he's just been sitting there just like, yeah, I since taking the medicine, I've only been having short-term visions.
They all kind of breathe a sigh of relief. And your mother speaks up, having eaten most of the charcuterie board now.
Meanwhile, his croissant is only half eaten now.
Because he's nervous.
Norvis. It's the Norvs. It's noise.
But she speaks up and goes, "Well, I'm glad you're not having the worst ones, but do you want to see the worst ones? They could help you in this time loop."
Uh, that's the idea, yeah, but I And he looks back down at the bag. It's just like, I want to wait until I'm a little more ready for that. I mean, I haven't even graduated yet.
Aren't you graduating this year, bud?
Yeah. And I've been having to play catch up with the paladin classes because I switched for that.
Paladin? What makes you want to be a paladin?
Well, I don't want to be a warlock.
That's understandable, but why a paladin? That's the exact opposite and kind of worse.
I honestly not sure yet.
You
Because
know,
I tried monk for a while.
yeah, those two classes have a lot of overlap. That's why I'm surprised you took paladin instead.
Well, it's a little late for me to be changing again, so...
Well, not really. I used to switch classes all the time when I was there. That's why they kicked me out. But, as far as I'm concerned, it's the paladin and monk classes have a lot of overlap. All paladin really does is teach you to harness the light into a blade, while monk kind of teaches you to use it as an armory, as part of you. So that's really the only difference you'd have to have. I can talk to the teachers.
He does sit to think for a moment because he's probably felt the disconnect with the paladin classes, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just... I mean... I did feel a lot more comfortable attending the monk classes when I did than I did with the paladin. Is it really not too late for me to switch again?
Of course not, kiddo. Because those two classes have such an overlap and it's just a difference of perception and a execution, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to catch up rather fast.
And
Like, I don't even think it would take you a week.
then I'll try monk out again. And I mean, worst case scenario, at least I've got a wider set of skills.
Maybe. But they smile and go, "Is there anything else you want to tell us?" I don't think you ever told us your boyfriend's name.
Uh, it's Aster Harold.
You feel the stare more than you hear it.
Yeah, no, and he is very much, again, ooh, interesting spot that isn't here.
And you hear Amelie just go, "He was very nice. He made me feel comfortable talking to him."
Yeah, Aster's really good at that, yeah.
I think he's nice. Mama, I think he's nice.
Tsubasa
And just
finally does look towards his parents, just like, okay, what expressions do they actually have?
with a 21 insight, you know that their guarded expressions are merely because they ran into the heralds in their youth. And not Aster.
Yeah. It's just, Aster really is, he's honestly really kind, even if he is a little,
Reckless.
yeah.
As your mother speaks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a herald.
But he's always making sure that I'm safe, and he really is well, I guess good is subjective, but
He hasn't hurt you, has he?
no, never.
Good. I will beat his ass if he does.
Please do not beat my boyfriend's ass.
Your father just chuckles. He's just like, alright, alright. Are you open to spending the day with us? It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't see why not. The others will probably explain what I missed when I get back.
Of course.
'Cause,
Why don't we have lunch and talk a little bit? And looks at
Tsubasa.
your mother, who is still trying to pick off crumbs, just
uh, Tsubasa is aware that the gummy ship has been given to them as a group, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just Tsubasa for a moment considers, and then hopefully with the air of good news, just like, well, we've actually got a gummy ship that will get once Arthur and I graduate.
That's nice. How long have we been running?
It has been an hour and 45 minutes.
Do you want to call the mini session here and just say you spend the time updating them on the minor situations?
Yeah.
Alright,
All
go
right.
ahead.